Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I make fun makeup videos, college vlogs and a hint of self-love and self-care here and there. So do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And for today's video, we're gonna do Q&A on my design journey basically, because I've seen a lot of you commenting on my NID and NIFT vlogs, questions related to portfolio and how I got into it and what is the scope in there and everything. So I will be doing a Q&A with all of those questions. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. Hey guys, for your convenience, I have put in timestamps with specific topics in the description and in the comment section below. So if you guys wanna skip to specific topics, you can just click on those timestamps. So when you guys commented, the comments were kind of mixed up with like questions and like how amazing the video is and everything. So I kind of simplified them and put it down in my list over here. So if I'm looking down once in a while and if the questions are simplified, just don't mind that. I mean, like, why would you guys mind that? Okay, just get started with this. Okay. So the first question that we have over here is, how did you end up choosing NIFT or NID, or like how did you end up choosing design basically? So to be honest with you guys, I didn't really expect to be here basically. Growing up, it was not my like childhood dream to be a designer or something like that. Growing up in an Indian household, it's all about you're either an engineer or a doctor, and like I didn't have any issues with that because my grades were fine. My grades are like perfectly fine, so I didn't really think about questioning that. I mean, like, it's either an engineer or a doctor. But you know, coming up to 11th and 12th, okay, I'm not gonna say that word. It got tough. Okay, it got tough, and I just realized that I can't be doing something that I have no interest in. And that is when one of my seniors, she saw me sketching, like, she saw my sketchbook, and that is when she was like, maybe you should like opt for designing. And I had no freaking clue what she was talking about. Like, I had no idea what she was talking about. And she goes on to say, like, there's this college, like NIFT and NID, and maybe I should do a bit of research on that. And like, I mean, like, think about it. If I was like having so many issues with, like, in my stream, I should think about changing it. I mean, it was a very big decision, but I guess it was always there in the back of my mind that I needed to change. It's just that it was just in front of me, and I was like, I'll need to change. I'll need to go in a direction that made me happy. And that is when I like searched up about NIFT and NID, and that is when I realized that designing is something that I could do. Like, all the courses that was offered in there, like any of those sounded more interesting than engineering and being a doctor. Like for me, it was very much more interesting than all of those other professions. So that is how I stumbled upon NIFT and NID, and my decision to shift to a designing career basically. That is when my dreams were born, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we should be moving on to the next question. There are so many details in that stories that I could blabber out, but no, we're gonna keep this short and simple. So the next question is, which course for undergraduate and which course for masters? So for my undergraduate, I did my bachelor's at NIFT Hyderabad, and I chose the discipline fashion design. under that course. And for my postgraduate, I did my master's. I'm doing my master's at NIT Gandhinagar, and I have taken up the course Strategic Design Management. So one of you guys did ask me as to how I ended up choosing these particular disciplines. For my bachelor's, I basically had no knowledge about all of this. Like, you guys saw me, like I did my research, but in my boarding we didn't have, we were not allowed to keep our phones, so I rarely had access to the internet. I basically had no idea as to what I was doing. I just knew that I needed to change to designing, but I did not know which course to take up. But I did see that fashion designing is one that NIFT is basically mostly famous for, fashion designing course. So yeah, I just took up fashion designing because of that. It was nothing I was very much interested in fashion designing and I needed to take that up. No, it was not like that. Just being totally honest right here, it was not like that. I just thought that it's the best course out there that NIFT could provide to me, and I just took it up. But at that okay guys, that's a bad decision. Don't do that. My situation was bad, so I guess I was an exception, but I will just tell you guys not to do that. Do your research, what each discipline is. So I guess I should tell you guys what each discipline is, maybe like a one-liner, because I know I could see the questions that came up in the comment section, and mostly you guys were confused about which stream to take. So I guess I could tell you a bit into that. I don't know if I should, but you know what, it's my video, I'm just gonna do that, and I feel like you guys would want to know. So the first one I'm gonna talk about is fashion design. For fashion design, I guess it's very much evident in the name itself. You'll be studying everything related to fashion designing, which is basically your whole entire design process that you take, from concept to the making of the product. Basically, how do you come up with a concept as to what what the garment is gonna look like, the mood, basically the concept, the inspiration, how do you derive inspiration to make the garment. Then in the design process, we also have you need to sketch a lot. They'll teach you illustrations. We'll have draping and pattern making, which is basically as to how to make the garments. And then there is the final product, which you will be they'll teach you how to stitch it, even to stitch the entire garment basically. That's what's happening. And apart from that, there'll be very small courses here and there that's related to fashion design. We had marketing, we also had fashion forecasting, we had what else did we have? We also had photography. So everything that's small aspects of it that's also related to fashion design, styling for example, all of those things we will have along with that in the discipline. For KD, it's basically the same as fashion design. It's just that in knitwear design, you'll be dealing mostly with knits. For fashion design, you deal with woven fabrics, and for knitwear design, you deal with knits fabrics. Then we have fashion communication. For fashion communication, I didn't take up fashion communication, but if I could say what most of my friends were doing, they were mostly assignments related to graphic design and magazine cover designs. We had a lot of styling, a lot of photography, logo designs and package designs. All of those things, all of those things are covered in fashion communication. As far as I could tell, you could go and research properly in the NIFT website, but if like, seeing all of my friends do all of these assignments, those are the assignments that I saw them doing basically. So then we have like accessory design. As the name suggests, it's mostly like, all of those accessories that you pair up with your garment, be it like belts, bags, purses, we have earrings, like jewelry, everything is covered in accessory design. Yeah, and one more thing that I really saw in accessory design was that a lot of material play. They played with a lot of materials, like um, be it like iron, wood, or clay, any of those materials. Like I saw a lot of material exploration in accessory design. So if you're interested in that, even that could, like, be a good discipline that you would go to. Then we have the textile design department. The textile design department mostly dealt with the fabric, the woven fabric basically, like, weaving, and also coming up with like different products that they could make with that woven fabric, like, cushion covers or bed sheets, curtains, all of those, like, interior, like, decorating stuff, like all of those, they are also covered in like textile design. That's what I've seen them mostly doing. I even saw one of my friend making like a lampshade because it had the woven fabric with it. So like, even other products that you could explore into with the woven fabric basically. NIFT also has like a discipline like fashion technology, but I didn't really have any, like, close friends in like fashion technology department, so I didn't really see them do, like, I don't really know the assignments that they had to cover. So yeah, I'm basically not a good person to be telling you any of that. So that was all for all of those courses that's offered in NIFT. Okay, I would still suggest you guys to do your research, because all I did was just give you an one-liner as to what I saw them doing. It was just like a glimpse of what the course actually is. So I would suggest you guys to do your research and talk to those people who has actually been in that stream. Okay, so that's it for that. Coming up to my masters, the reason why I chose like strategic design management is because I do want to open up my own fashion label once I graduate, and that is why I took up SDM, because I thought that I would require some, like, design management skills to be able to open my own label. Like, I know I could like hire a manager or like, have a friend in there, but I kind of felt like if I do this, I need to do this properly, and I need to know what goes around in managing a label. And that is, I generally thought that, I would need a bit of knowledge around the whole field, and that is why I took up SDM. Um, Coming up to the course SDM, it's a huge lot of more things than just design management. I mean, there's a lot of other things that, they teach us. Like, they teach us human behavior, they teach us like, user experience, they teach us branding, all of those, marketing, and all of those other stuff. Like, it's a bit of like, they don't teach us like too much into depth, because this is not a management course, but they do teach us the basics and how do we process it, how do we proceed with it in a very design centric way, which is like basically user centered way. Like, how do we do it in a very designerly way. I hope I'm doing this right, god help me. Anyway, okay, so that is what we have for masters in design. Like, I have like a lot of things that I could tell you about SDM. It's just that I want to keep this video short and simple, and mostly answer the questions that you guys have already asked me. right? If you guys have any more questions, do comment down below, whatever comes to your mind, and I will elaborate on them in the comment section. So the next question we have over here is, how did you prepare for NIFT entrance? So like I said, I was in boarding. I had very less access to the internet or any other things. So the only thing that did come up to my mind was like, taking books. I did not take up any coaching. Like there's this question, did you join any coaching? I did not join any coaching. I did not join any coaching. However, I did like take books that's related to NIFT entrance. Like just took up books that had sample question papers and just solved them. That is all I did for my NIFT entrance. And for my NIT, even I did not take up coaching because I was already having a bit of design experience, experience as to like knowledge in the design field. So I didn't really need coaching. However, I was like very new to the whole STM structure, so I did take up this appointment to review my portfolio, but that's it. I mean, even making the portfolio, it was all my work, and nothing else. I didn't take any help or any coaching. I just took up a session for reviewing my portfolio, which honestly saying, it sucked. There was nothing much that they could really tell me because they themselves did not know what to expect. And that is the thing about like NID interviews, like you don't really know what to expect. Basically, it's just, you just have to be your own authentic self. That is what I would tell you to be. If you're yourself, like your authentic self, then you will be able to answer the questions. I mean, that has been my experience. That is what I would suggest you guys to do. Just be your authentic self, don't fake anything. For my portfolio, even I did not have any managing portfolio skill. My portfolio did not have any managing projects in there. It just had me in my fashion design field. Whatever I did in my fashion design field, projects around garment construction, basically the whole design process as to how I made my product and everything. And one of my internships where I was a fashion intern and everything, design intern. So I just put those up in my portfolio. It wasn't even related to STM, and I just went for the interview, and that's how I got selected. Just be your authentic self. They don't want you to be something you are not. They just want you to be who you are. But that does not mean that you won't give any thought to it. You have to give a bit of thought towards the whole process. Like if I am having a portfolio on fashion design, I must have the reasons for everything. Okay, what they want to know in an interview is, how do you reach to a point? What is your thought process? Be it in a design process, or be it in an internship that you've been through, or be it some kind of a sketch that you made, just a simple sketch, or just even a simple photo that you clicked. What is your thought process? What were you thinking at that point? How did you reach to that point? The whole process, that's what matters. Okay, that is what I've felt in the interview. That is what mattered most. Okay, they just want to know how you think and how you analyze everything. They just want to know you as a person, basically. So, and present yourself, the best possible version of yourself. Just make them see the best version of you. It's just how it happened for me and what my experience has been in this interview. Okay, so yeah. So one of you guys did ask me to show my portfolio that got me into NID. Like I said before this, I mean, you just need to be you. You don't need to see my portfolio to know what got you into NID. Still, if you guys are interested, it's just me with my design process, like fashion design process. Like maybe I could show you guys one. This is the one that I did for my internship, which is basically we have our color forecast over here, our fashion forecast, like all of those garment detail forecasts that we have over here, and then we have, like, I made my mood board and then my concept board, if you guys can see, inspiration board, and how I develop my prints. It's just, that's what I'm trying to say, like it's the entire process that made me, my final product was like the prints that I made. So yeah, but it's not just the portfolio, it's what you say during the portfolio, when you're showing the portfolio, like you tell them how you got to your design, you tell them how you got to your sketch, the whole entire process. Like I showed you, I have my mood, I have my concept, I have my inspiration, and what I was thinking at that point, and how I all of my explorations that I have, and how I ended up to my final product. That is what mattered in the portfolio. Okay, we also have a question as to like any tips for NID exam. I guess I gave you my tips. Those are my tips. You maybe just be yourself. And do study all of those sample papers. If you could just Google it up, like you'll get a lot of sample papers, a lot of previous year question papers. Just solve all of those, and that's all the preparation that I did. We didn't have any practical exams, so I didn't actually, and honestly speaking, I didn't do any preparation. Even if we, like before this COVID scenario, like we were preparing for it, I was preparing for it since a long time. Even at that point, I did not prepare for the practical exam, because I mean, I had a design background. I just thought, like whatever comes to me, I'll deal it at that point spontaneously. Yeah, that's what I was planning to do. Yeah. But if you guys had to do something more, like if you are not from a designing background, then I'm not the right person to ask here. Whatever material they give me, whatever, like task they give me, I'm just gonna do it on spot. Okay, so my camera just died there, so I had to charge it again. So like if there's a change in the frame or my makeup or anything, it's because I'm shooting this at a later stage. Yeah, so don't mind that. Anyways, we have our last question, which is what kind of jobs do you get once you pass out from NIFT? So what kind of jobs you get kind of depends on the stream that you took. Like for me, I took fashion design, so the jobs that I can apply for will be like assistant fashion designer at export houses or designer houses, or any kind of movies, upcoming movies, or like as an assistant fashion designer I can apply for those positions. Apart from that, I can also apply for like trend forecasting position, or a graphic designing position, an illustrator basically, or a print designer. Print designers will basically be at export houses and also designer houses. I could also opt for like a stylist at like different companies. Like I have seen some of my friends go in that line. I just don't know the deets of it, but yeah, you can be a stylist, or you could also apply for product management or like a product designer. I mean, all those lines are open for you. It's just that you need to have a proper portfolio. Like I would say once you have a bachelor's in design degree, you could actually apply for any kind of designer position, any kind of position that requires designing basically. It's just that you need to have a solid portfolio that kind of, what can I say, supports that position basically. It's like, I know I took a like a degree in like fashion design,
but if I have a solid graphic design portfolio, I can opt for like a graphic designer position, like a proper graphic designer position. So yeah, those are the ones. Let me just put that all in a list again. So assistant fashion designer at export houses or designer houses, illustrator, graphic designer, all of these positions at export houses or at designer houses. Then we have product designer, print designer, fashion forecaster, stylist. Yeah, all those positions. These are the ones that actually come up to my mind right now. But as I said, any kind of position that requires a bit of designing, you can apply for that with a bachelor's in design degree. You just need to have a solid portfolio supporting that. Okay,
if you guys have any more questions, like I know I could cover a lot and tell you a lot more about what I did in the fashion design course and what I'm doing currently at strategic design management course, but I didn't really see anybody asking me like in detail. So if you guys still want to know, just comment down below and I'll just answer them elaborately in the comment section. So comment down below if you have any more questions. I'll answer those. And yeah, I guess this is it for the video. So I guess I covered all of those few questions that I got in the comment section of my previous videos, right? And yeah, that's it for this video, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna say it again. If you have any more questions, just comment down below and I'll try my best to help you guys out. And yeah, so I hope you guys like this video. If you did, do hit the thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll do more videos related to my college life at NIT and more vlogs and many more fun makeup videos. I have a lot more fun makeup videos coming up. Okay, anyways, like, subscribe, comment your questions, and I guess I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.